What's it going to cost to sell your home? Well, let's break all the fees down, and then you might be surprised that there are a couple credits that would be on your side. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. And if you're interested in learning about all things real estate and tips and strategies on how to grow your business or to close transactions, hit the subscribe button and make sure you tap the bell so you get notified when we dive into topics like this. I'm also obligated to tell you that I'm a real estate agent in Maryland with EXP, so now we can dive right in. We'll just go down the list of the things that you can expect and be prepared for when selling your home. And, with 13 years of doing this, I've been licensed for 13 years, there's always some fee or a credit that maybe a seller didn't think about, a homeowner didn't think about before they actually met with an agent, so now you'll be prepped well ahead of time. The first one's government fees. Everyone's going to be charged them. Your agent or title company doesn't adjust them. They are straight from the government. So you'll have one from the county, the state, possibly the city that you're in, and there'll be different amounts. So check with your agent and title company before you get a number in your head. Number two is commission, like one of the most obvious ones, right? So each brokerage will charge a percentage of the sale of the property. So whatever you end up selling the property for, the percentage of that will go to the brokerage and then to the agents. There is also another fee that some brokerages charge, and will be a fee that's static, right? Some do, some don't. My business plan for 2020 is to not have that charge to my sellers. So the thing to be aware of with commission is that every agent does it differently. Even if they're at the same brokerage, every brokerage does it differently. So you really have to figure out what is in alignment with what you want and not worry so much about the percentage of the commission, but actually think about and ask your agent, what is my net going to be when it's all said and done? Because some agents and brokerages will charge a smaller commission, but they're not known for the highest prices. So you want to look at that net number. So to give you an idea, and remember that I'm in Maryland, so this might be different for you. I just wanted to give you an example. On a $215,000 sale recently, the seller's total closing costs, everything with the recordation fees, commissions, everything, was about $13,500. Let me know if you think that that's higher than you thought or lower, right on spot. Let me know in the comments what you think. It'd be interesting to know. The title company is going to be working in Maryland on the behalf of the buyer, but they will be doing some duties for you. So there will be some fees attached to that. So it depends if you have a mortgage. You'll be paying the title company a couple $100 most likely to get the release on that mortgage. So they'll be contacting your bank, collecting the money at settlement, and paying off your loan. If you're lucky enough to have your home paid for, or that you have already paid it off and now you have no mortgage, you won't have to pay that fee. Also, if you don't attend closing, expect there to be some sort of fee involved from the title company, either sending you the package for you to go sign with a notary or for them to set up someone to come meet you, a representative to meet you and sign those papers outside of the settlement time that they've allotted. The next one is there might be fees for something that you've used but the bill hasn't come yet. For example, where I am, the water bill is quarterly, and you will have used some water while you lived there before the bill comes. So the new owner will be getting the bill 2 to 3 months later. They'll prorate that amount based on what you've used before and say you may owe $20 at settlement to the buyer for when the water bill does come. Another thing that goes along that line is HOA. If you have not paid your HOA and it's due at settlement time and it hasn't been paid, they'll deduct for that as well. Here's the other biggie, seller contribution. And this is one that's not required of you, but you may come up with a buyer who is requesting a seller contribution. At the time that they write the offer, they may request from you a certain amount or certain percentage. 3% is common, but there is no typical. It could be any percentage that they're asking of you off the sales price toward their closing cost. It may also happen toward inspection time when there's a repair and that you don't want to do it, but so they'll accept some funds so you can negotiate at that time as well. But this might be one of the bigger chunks that you will prepare for if that's typical in your area. If you have any questions about seller contribution, I've made a video that breaks down the whole process from the buyer, agent, and seller side and how to negotiate a win for all parties. And I'll link it below, and I'll also put it at the end of the video. Are you ready to hear the actual credits that you might get? So if when you pay your taxes ahead of time, typically where I am, you were 6 months, we pay 6 months, possibly a year. But if you have the 6 months that you've paid ahead and you, let's just say it's January to June, and you close January 30th, you're going to get a credit of that February to June back at settlement. It will show up on your settlement sheet, which we call an ALTA, at the day of settlement, and when you get to look at your paperwork before closing, you will see that credit to you. Also, if you've paid anything on your HOA ahead of time, like if you paid 6 months in advance, you'll get a credit for the amount that you haven't used. So if you have anything like that, you should be getting a credit, and it'll show on there the prorated amount that you're getting back. So hooray, you get a credit. And it might seem silly, but this could be substantial. Just think what your taxes are in a 6 month period. And if you're closing early in that 6 months, that's a significant portion back to you. Did you know that if you reach out to a real estate agent like myself or one in your area, your preferred agent, they will be happy to go to a title attorney and get you a settlement estimate prepared per the price of your home and what your specific taxes are. They'll help you look that up, and they'll even figure out the credit for you that you would get dependent on the time that you sell. With selling your home, would you be more interested in seeing a video about what improvements to make to get the best ROI? Or would you prefer seeing a video about the pre-inspection when you get inspections prior to listing, how that could possibly help you? Let me know below, and I'll see if I can make that video next. Did you find this video valuable? If so, can you give it a like, because that will help me know that I'm doing the right kind of content for you, and also let YouTube know this is a good video. People should know this information. Share it to anyone that you think might be helpful, and remember to subscribe so you get notified every time we make a video on these types of topics.